Hey guys, welcome to the Digital Marketing Review, where I look up all the latest digital media, digital marketing news and let you know about it so you don't have to. You save that precious time. What I'm doing now, and I feel like I've been neglecting you guys because I've wanted to do this segment weekly, and I've just been so busy with other things that it's kind of turned into a month by month, but I want to change that. So I apologize to you guys out there. Now, what I'm doing to maximize my time is I am recording it in a podcast. See the microphone down here, as well as putting it on YouTube. So if you don't enjoy seeing this face, which some of you might not, head over to the podcast I'm creating and you can watch or listen to it there. Also, what I'm doing now is I'm going to run this through in one shot, no cuts. Gives me a little practice for shooting live video and everything like that. Because I need that practice. So let's get into the stories for, this is going to be the beginning of March going until now. So the first thing we have is from entrepreneur.com. I think I've got a couple of those, and this came out March 1st. And the title is 5 Industries Getting the Most ROI from Digital Marketing. If you're not familiar with the acronyms, ROI is return on investment. So whatever you decide your investment, if it's direct sales, if it's engagements, it really depends on what ROI is for you, what that investment is for you, and what you're looking to gain on it. So 5 industries getting the most return on investment from digital marketing. And the first, right off the gate, in the first paragraph, the gentleman writing the article gives a stat that a recent study by Smart Insights says that 82% of businesses have a defined strategy for digital marketing, which is great. In 2017, you're going to see a huge rise in businesses that use multiple platforms. You also see a change in businesses that go from multiple platforms just to 2 or 3. Like me, for example, I have a full-time job as a firefighter, and I have somewhat limited time checking every social media platform. So when I first started just a few months ago, I was on, constantly updating everything. That was my digital media marketing plan. I was on, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all the other ones starting Periscope. And it just became too much, and I didn't feel like my efforts were paying off. I wasn't getting that ROI from spreading myself so thin. So lately, I've been condensing it to Facebook, Instagram, pushing Instagram really hard, and also now Periscope, kind of because the future of digital marketing is live video and video in general. So that's kind of where I'm putting my efforts. So he starts off with that. Also, it really depends on your business. Just because 82% of businesses are doing it does not mean that you have to have a structured digital media marketing plan. It doesn't really work for me. One, because I feel like it takes up too much of my time. And 2, the business I'm in of digital marketing is so dynamic and changing. I mean, one platform could rise to the top by adding one feature in a week, and another could drop because they're not renewing their platform, going after different users and things like that. So it really depends on your business, also the time that you have. If it works for you, great. So he's going into 5 different industries that are really getting great benefit from digital media, digital marketing. And the first one he talks about is the law industry, which I didn't even have to read what he said here to know where he was going. If you're a law firm out there, where you need to be and where you need to spend the majority of your time, over 50%, is on a blog, a written blog, or a video blog. But because it's come so natural to lawyers, they naturally speak in court if they're practicing attorneys and they're in court, and they write briefs. I mean, they know how to write and they know how to speak. So this should come natural to them, and why they're so successful with blogs. And there's a lot of people out there who are so uneducated about law itself that when they type into Google, they're typing, how do I get out of a traffic ticket? That's probably a popular blog post for lawyers who do traffic law. But yeah, he says, and attorneys like to talk. I mean, that's just what they do. They enjoy talking. They enjoy explaining law to the layperson out there. So yeah, lawyers are getting a lot of benefit, a lot of clients from blog posts on specific legal topics that he says here. Yeah, great return for a written blog by lawyers. Every law firm should have a specific blog. If not, each partner or each attorney working there should have their own blog, because law firms are so usually various. If they're the larger ones, they cover a lot of different legal areas. The second industry he goes into is health, which again, having a strong website for health company, doctors and hospitals and things like that. Doctors, just like lawyers, should have that blog, especially if they're in private practice, because just like people are typing in, how do I get out of a speeding ticket or a traffic ticket, or somebody suing me, what do I do? The same concerns people type into Google. You might not enjoy it, but if you type into Google, what is this bump, blank, 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 you're going to get some weird stuff popping up. And if there are doctors out there and health professionals that are writing blogs about those specific things, who do you think that person's going to come to, especially when they want to get rid of that bump wherever it is? See, that's pretty much the same. I don't have to go really in depth there. His third industry he talks about is auto. And auto, when you think of auto companies and you think of dealerships, you think of commercials, especially local dealerships, just hokey, ridiculous commercials to stand out, showing 0 down, 100% financing, blah, blah, blah. But the big automakers are really moving on to that digital space, because cars are very customized. On TV commercials, they can really only give you that base price, the base model. But having a customized audience that these automakers can go to, they can really make the experience specific to you, especially if you've shown interest in a certain type of model, not just a make, but make, model, year, certain add-ons, manual, automatic transmission, those things. They can really customize that to that audience. That's why the large, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, all of them are going onto that digital space and really making it interactive. Yeah, it gives a stat that the major auto companies from 2014 spent 22% more on digital advertising. The fourth one he talks about is entertainment. So those public figures out there, and that includes, not just actors, but also, the movies, the production companies, everything like that. Anything to do with entertainment, digital media is the space to be, because for those people, those fangirls, those fan guys out there, they've never been able to be closer to a public figure, to someone in entertainment, than with social media. So if you're an actor that is trying to increase your brand value, you need to be on Instagram, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on Periscope and Snapchat, snapping out, your boring things that you're doing and the fun things. And you need to make that available to your fan base. Also, you need to respond immediately to all their messages that they send you. It's not like we have to open letters and read them and write back. it's so quick to just type with your thumbs and send a response to that user. So a lot of focus is on entertainment, especially Instagram and Snapchat. The fifth one is the food industry. So again, I tell restaurants I work with all the time, for food, you need to be on Instagram because it's that visual space, it's that visual platform where people will interact with pictures of food, videos of food, the process of cooking food. So what I recommend is they get a strong Instagram presence. Excuse me. Woo! Went 13 again. A strong Instagram presence and really push Instagram Live and Instagram Video, the new story function that Instagram has. Really maximize that to your advantage because you can have a great success in monetizing those customers by using Instagram Video. Let's see what he says here. Yeah, that's about it. That's the fifth industry there. So, good article. The next one it's also from entrepreneur.com. 8 reasons Facebook will beat all other digital marketing channels this year. I didn't enjoy this one as much. It's a contributor article. So this gentleman believes that Facebook advertisements will surpass all other digital marketing channels in 2017, and here's his reason why. The first one is a custom targeted audience. So like I've said in the last digital marketing review, Facebook has really put a lot of stock into analytics on their users and finding out what their likes and dislikes are, finding out where they're going, especially with the Facebook Pixel that tracks you to any other website you go to, not just Facebook. And check that other video where I talked about it more. It's the one for February. But yeah, their analytics are so detailed that Facebook advertising is very effective in that way. And I'm also going to counter it, play a little devil's advocate why I think that can be a bad thing. Yeah, so what he talks about here is the Facebook custom audience tool allows you, if you have an established email database, you can upload those emails, and what Facebook will do is they'll find those users if they're on Facebook, and you can take that information, and create a lookalike audience. So if you don't know what a lookalike audience is, it's where, say that you have an email contact, his name is Jim. Jim works in corporate finance, and Jim fly fishes, and he looks up, fly fishing stuff all the time. And say that you have a fly fishing business. You might sell lures or things like that. So you can take Jim's contact information, upload it to Facebook, and Facebook will find a lookalike, someone who is like Jim, also, might work in corporate finance or, a different type of industry, but also likes fly fishing and looks at the same things that Jim looks at. And it'll, when you run an ad, it'll put your ad in front of the Jim lookalike, if that makes sense. If not, contact me on Instagram, send me a DM, and I'll explain it more to you. He talks, he goes into Donald Trump. Whether you like Trump or not, it's not an issue. If you look at it objectively during the campaign, he destroyed the opposition in digital media, especially on Facebook advertising. If you look at it from just an advertising standpoint, Hillary really spent the money on television advertisements. If you remember, it was only her ads on TV. You rarely saw a Donald Trump ad on TV, especially towards the end of the campaign. That's when he started to kind of do television ads. But mainly what he did is he had a large amount, I think, 220 million Americans had their profiles, and it was a custom database, and he took that, they uploaded it to the Facebook custom audience tool, and were able to send advertisements to those lookalike audiences, really targeting who they were, trying to get to vote for them or not vote for the other person. So whether you like them or not, they did an awesome job on Facebook advertising and digital media. So look into that a little more, how they succeeded that way. He talks about Facebook being #1 online platform. It has 1.79 billion active monthly users. Advertising on Facebook is comparatively cheaper than on Google. It really is. It's a progression. Google AdWords used to be cheap because there weren't a lot of people using it. As long as, when more people start using it, that's when it becomes expensive. Now that's why I want to give that counter argument about him saying that Facebook will beat out all other platforms for advertising. You can only have so many advertisements running at the same time on Facebook because they still want to keep that good user experience. They don't want to turn it into a scrolling ad after ad. You still want, when you get on Facebook, you don't want to see an ad. You don't want things to feel like an ad. You want to see what your friends are up to. So Facebook, it's not an advertising platform. It's useful for advertising. So if you see the difference there. So the market, it can get saturated very quickly, that advertising market on Facebook, which I think it will in 2017. And then less advertisers will be able to advertise on Facebook, as well as the price per impression, per click, whatever it is, will increase in 2017. It's still very cheap though. Facebook is the most downloaded platform onto phones, onto mobile devices, and that's only going to increase in 2017. Well over 60% of people are using their mobile device specifically to search online and look at Facebook. So that's going to continue there. That's, they do have a competitive advantage there. Reason 3, early stage brand awareness. You can grow your brand on Facebook. It's very good for growing your brand. I think Instagram works a little better. Of course, Facebook owns Instagram, but they are still two separate platforms. But there is a brand awareness ad objective that uses real-time proxy metrics with both the reach and attentions users give to a campaign to provide brands with maximum exposure. 4 is Facebook Live. Facebook Live is popular, but so is Instagram Live. Periscope is going to explode in 2017 as a platform for live video. Twitter has a live function. YouTube has just come out with a live function. So it's, Facebook is established as first, but all these other platforms I think are, work a lot better, will work a lot better for live video. But right now Facebook does have an advantage there. Especially not so much advertisements going live because nobody wants to watch an infomercial on Facebook, but building that brand. Number 5, chatbots. Yeah, a lot of the bigger companies do use chatbots where you can get immediate response to your questions. So people will just send a message to Facebook, the company page on Facebook, and they'll get a response from a bot. And Facebook Messenger, will increase, especially with advertising, businesses using Facebook Messenger to advertise their brand or send specific offers. Goes into consumer psychology. I'm going to skip that. Growth. Yeah, Facebook is getting big, whatever. That's about I'm kind of over this ad. I think Facebook will continue to grow as an advertising platform, but not as fast, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a decline. I think Instagram is really going to take over that space. All right, this is from Adweek, 9 digital marketing stats from this week that jumped off the page. And this was from, I can't remember what date this was, but yeah, it was the beginning of March. So this just goes through, let's see, the first one is Denny's had a tweet that actually set a historic marker on Twitter. It garnered 108,000 retweets and more than 152,000 likes in a couple of days, which is really great. And what they did is they tweeted a picture of pancakes and it had syrup in there with the little, butter ball that's on top that melts. And they made it interactive by allowing you to zoom in and kind of get a clue for a scavenger hunt. And that is why they were so successful. It wasn't just a picture, it wasn't just a written tweet. They made it interactive. Second stat, Gen X is getting snappy. So Snapchat is really exploding for those, younger 15 to 25 year olds. Snapchat, and it's exploding for businesses too, trying to find a way to use that to their advantage. Direct sales on Snapchat are not going to work. Increasing your brand value and brand awareness will work for Snapchat. So let's get that straight there. So a lot of people think Snapchat is for that 15 to 25 and that's it. But the fastest growing users are between 45 and 54. 45 and 54, who would have thought that? Well, I did. I knew that. I knew it was going to happen because these 25-year-olds and a little bit older that are using Snapchat are having children. And their parents and, even their grandparents getting up there, they want to see these snaps of their grandchildren. They're obsessed with their grandchildren and they're obsessed with their kids and they're just obsessive at all. You've got an overbearing mom. Everybody's got one. So that's why 45 to 50-year-olds are getting on there so they can see all these pictures. And they really don't know how to use it. They have no idea. But isn't that the way it always works? The young generation starts using something and the older generation, of course, starts off at, I don't want to use that. That's ridiculous. We don't, humbug. But then it might take months, it might take a couple years. They're on it. If enough people are on it, if you build it, they will come. That whole mindset. Holy foot traffic. So Pokemon Go, I haven't really kept up with that. It was huge last year, and I guess people are still using it. That's one thing I never got into. It just didn't really interest me at all. But Pokemon Go has driven more than 500 million store visits for retail brands. They kind of jumped on, retail brands jumped on that bandwagon, partner with the mobile game and maximized that app to their advantage. Boring. Boring. Yeah, YouTube revealed that people watch 1 billion hours of video daily on its website. Of course, they've gone with the live version now. Yeah, YouTube is here to stay because you can just connect. You can watch anything. It has recommended videos that just pop up automatically that have you watching for hours before you even realize what's going on. Boring. Yeah, okay. Let's move to the next one. Got 2 more here. Why digital marketing is failing most SMEs. SMEs being small businesses, new businesses. Small market enterprise. I can't remember what the acronym. I think that's what it is. Yeah, so it's not, why digital marketing is failing. I don't think digital marketing is failing small business. I think small businesses are failing in the digital marketing space. There's nothing better for small businesses than digital marketing because the platform is free. The only thing you have to spend is your time on it. And small businesses, I know that time is, really valuable. It's really valuable to me as a small business, but you really need to spend that time. You need to grow your following, and you need to find a way to monetize that following to get them into your store if you have a store, or get them to buy your services or your time, and pay you for your time. Whatever widget you have, you need to find a way to optimize them and monetize them. So the first thing he talks about, a lack of content strategy. My content strategy, here's my content strategy, and this is the way my mind works, so I use it to my advantage. I don't schedule anything out like I was talking about earlier. If I have an idea in my head, I roll with it, I test it out, I see how it works. If it doesn't work, then I change things up. It's dynamic. I guess that's my content strategy. Be dynamic, be fluid, be able to move at a moment's notice. That won't work for every other business. If you know that between 5 and 8 you're slammed, then you might change it up. You might have set up something to post between 2 and 3, or set something up at 2 and 3 and post it when you're slammed between 5 and 7. It really depends. Yeah, okay, he gives a stat that a report from Budget and Trend shows that approximately 65% of B2B, business to business, marketers say they do not have a documented content strategy implemented. Hey, I'm one of them. I'm part of that 62%. Void of a responsive website. So a responsive website is not me responding to you. What they mean by responsive is, say your website is on a desktop that's this big, and say my face is a website. Beautiful. It's a beautiful website. And those who can't see, I'm just holding my fingers up, creating a frame. So responsive is, as the frame gets smaller, as your device gets smaller, it still looks the same. It adjusts, the size adjusts to keep the same look and feel of the website. That's what a responsive site is. And what the problem is now is, like I said before, over 60% of people, well over 60% of people are using their mobile phones to look at websites and look at social media platforms. So businesses need to optimize their website to almost take a mobile first approach. Build your website for it to look appropriate on a phone, and then think about the desktop afterwards. That's where it's going. And it's just like marketing in general. There's always a shift. So remember when phones used to have to be small and tiny in your pocket, and there was that Will Ferrell skit on Saturday Night Live where he answers the phone that's this big. Now they're getting bigger. Why? Because there's so much content that you can consume on the phone that you're not sitting at your desktop, you're on the go, you're looking at your phone, you're checking everything out, you're checking Facebook, apps. Social media apps have made phones become larger by themselves, so you can see those pictures quickly and more clearly. Failing to leverage the power of social media. Like I said earlier, social media is imperative to small businesses. You can make yourself more competitive with larger businesses with less money and less advertising, right? I mean, that's what social media does, because there's no entrance fee. There's no buying an ad and, you know, competing with others on a specific time frame like radio or TV. So that's what I mean there. And let's see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it says that a study was done that only 11% of small businesses which participated in the study said they leveraged social media for their small business to generate customers and clients. And 20% admitted they used no social media at all. 11% is a large amount, and that's just people that do use social media but have no idea how to monetize those users and get them to either come in the store, buy their product, or, you know, purchase their service or whatever it is. 11%, that's pretty large. And 20%, they don't use social media at all. So together, that's 31% that are not performing or underperforming on social media. That's a huge amount. It's a very big space. All right, that's pretty much all that one. All right, last one. We're in the home stretch. So early this month, Snapchat went public, and right before that, that's what this article is about. It's from NBC. NBC invested $500 million in Snapchat IPO as part of its ambitious investment in digital media. And this came out March 3rd. Maybe they went, I can't remember if they went public in the end of February or early March. Maybe it'll tell me. Yeah, so NBC is really partnering with a bunch of digital media social media platforms like Snapchat. They invested in BuzzFeed, 200 million Vox. NBC acquired Sports Engine, which is a digital business for youths involved in local team sports. So they've been spending a lot of money to invest in these platforms, really to position themselves as NBC being a full digital media and, you know, regular TV media production company. Or productions, or whatever they are. Yeah, so NBC is using, for their shows, The Voice, SNL, E! News, The Rundown, they're generating series for those on Snapchat, which is kind of exciting. I like that. You know, a large business like them is actively using Snapchat to increase their brand awareness. Yeah, and Snapchat, when they announced that they were going public, they were aiming for a 28 billion valuation, which is extremely large. That's a lot of money. I can't remember. I'd have to look back again what they, you know, if they were successful with that or not. Honestly, I've been working on this business too much to keep up with them. But they were hoping that this $500 million investment by NBC would assist in Snap Inc., who owns Snapchat. It's the holding company. They were hoping that would help reach that $28 billion valuation. And NBC Universal agreed to hold those shares, those 500 million shares, for at least a year. Yeah, so NBC is really positioning themselves, like I said, to be on these social media platforms, on these digital platforms, because they are trying to get in with millennials and the Generation X, you know, the younger generation, who are all on digital, you know, social media platforms and digital media. Yeah, so it says that, yeah. So this is right after, so he's writing about their investment right before before they went public, and this is, he updated right after. So he says it paid off after their trading debut. NBC, let's see, Snap soared 44%, turning NBC's $500 million investment into $720 million in just a day. So $220 million increase in a day. That's insane. So that's really the articles I have. Go ahead and subscribe. Just go to, on YouTube, it's Turnout Marketing. Of course, if you're watching YouTube right now, you can subscribe very quickly. All over the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all those. Go ahead and search for me, Turnout Digital, and follow me there. Putting out great stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it kind of gave you some value and keep you up with that digital marketing news. So I'll see you guys next time.